joke that cost me my marriage." Herb was standing with a group of his neighbors at a backyard party when his friend Chris joined them. The group finally broke up and Chris stayed with Herb. "Herb, I really admire you. I know I have many wonderful qualities, but which one impresses you the most?" Herb smiled. "I just found out that you and Melissa have an open marriage. I wouldn't have the courage to even bring it up with Jane, let alone have sex with someone I'm not married to." "Melissa and I have an open marriage? Where'd you hear that crap?" "From Melissa, of course. You think I'd believe any other source?" Herb's face reddened, like his blood pressure had spiked. "Tell me the details." "I saw Melissa alone by the fireplace. She looked sad, so I asked her if anything was wrong. I think she'd had too much to drink because she just said, 'I'm sad because my last boyfriend left me.' I asked, 'Boyfriend, what boyfriend? You're married, aren't you?' 'Of course you don't think I'd have a boyfriend without Herb's approval, do you? We have an open marriage. We just don't advertise it for the sake of appearances. Don't worry about Herb. He's already had a couple girlfriends, too. I was hoping to find someone new to sleep with here tonight.' 'Oh, don't worry. I know Jane wouldn't let you, even if you were interested. I gotta go. It was nice talking to you, Chris.' She left, and I stood there stunned. That's why I came to see you. I'm hoping I could get some tips on how to bring this up to my wife." Herb was furious, so furious that he had to step away from Chris to avoid yelling at him or physically harming him, either Chris or his wife. He decided to go in search of her. Melissa was surrounded by a group of men. She was standing next to Jerry, our new neighbor. They were all joking around a lot, laughing and touching each other, but Jerry especially. Herb knew she would call what she was doing innocent flirting. Herb called it foreplay. He turned around, walked out to their car, and drove home. Within 30 minutes, he had packed his things, thrown his wedding album into the roaring fireplace, and left his wedding ring on the kitchen table. His cell phone rang as he headed away from the house. It was Melissa. When he didn't answer, the message went to voicemail. "Herb, where are you? Where are you? Someone said you left in a rage. Is something wrong with your parents? Call me back as soon as possible." Herb was contemplating how to respond when the intersection of 4th and Vine Street showed itself. It was a corner known for easygoing girls plying their trade. He stopped. One mildly pleased woman approached his car. "You want to have some fun, big guy?" "Yeah, how much?" "You a cop?" "No, are you a nun?" "Hey, I have to be sure. To answer your question, it depends on what you want and for how long." "I guess I just want to be reassured." "My profile. $50. Sit down." She sat down and directed him to a narrow alley nearby. Once there, he handed her the $50. Soon, she began caressing his body. It was obvious from the start that she wanted to get it over with as soon as possible. Suddenly, he was worried about leaving a mess in the car. In less than 5 minutes, the deed was done. "Thank you. I needed this." "Any time. You know where I am." Herb drove back and paid her extra. He took the next call from his furious wife. "Where are you? You just can't leave me at a party without me knowing what's going on. Are you okay?" "Oh, I feel fine. You see, I just exercised my right to choose in our open marriage." The young lady had a very attractive look. "Open marriage? What are you talking about? We don't have an open marriage." "That's not what you told Chris. I'm sorry. I have to go." Herb hung up. Subsequent calls from her went unanswered. Upon reaching his motel room, he cried. "Why? How could she do this to me, to us?" Melissa shouted. "Chris, get your body over here right now." Chris grinned widely, heading towards Melissa. "Yes, ma'am. What can I do to help?" "What did you tell Herb about us having an open marriage?" Chris laughed. "I told him that you said you had an open marriage. I wish I'd been there when he told you. I bet he almost shit his pants when he found out he'd been played." "You asshole. He told me on the phone that he found out from you that I told him we had an open marriage. He called after he had just had sex with a call girl to get revenge. "You asshole! You may have cost me my marriage." She slapped him. Chris's wife saw the slap and ran over. "Melissa, what are you doing? Did he make a pass at you?" "Ask him." Melissa staggered away to find a ride home. Herb stopped crying and started drinking the bottle of bourbon he had bought on the way home. It took a while to achieve a semblance of relief from the pain he felt in his heart. He drank some more to slow down the need to plan the rest of his life without the woman he had trusted but who had betrayed him. He was glad it was Saturday. At least now he had a couple days before he had to tell others what had happened. The thought of people finding out was humiliating. He cried again. Melissa stayed up all night, hoping that Herb would realize he'd been played and come back and apologize. As the evening progressed, however, she became angry that Herb hadn't come to her first to verify what Chris, a known prankster, had told him. She remembered how quick Herb was to anger. That he so easily believed such rumors was disturbing. His trust and respect for her was at a lower level than she had realized. His first reaction was to retaliate by sleeping with some street cheater. She went to bed hoping to go on the offensive tomorrow. That asshole! The weekend dragged on slowly and joylessly for both Herb and Melissa. Neither of them made any attempt to contact the other. On Sunday night, Melissa emailed him at his office. "Chris was teasing you about me saying we have an open marriage. You must have wanted to believe him since you didn't even bother to consult me. You showed that you did because you went straight to having sex with some girl off the street. Well, not only can I assure you that we don't have an open marriage, in fact, I'm going to see a lawyer today to make sure we don't have any marriage at all, and as soon as possible." Monday morning, Herb came to work. The first thing he saw in his mail was a message from Melissa. His heart nearly exploded. He immediately called Chris. "Chris, tell me the truth about what Melissa told you about an open marriage." "It was a joke, Herb. Relax. I didn't even talk to her until afterward. Then you took off. I think it was overkill." "Oh, yeah, it worked. I just got an email from Melissa. She's gonna file for divorce because of the way I reacted to the news. I just wanted to thank you for ruining my life. I'll get back at you, good buddy." Herb hung up the phone. Herb emailed Melissa a response. "Chris just confirmed that what he said was a prank. Yes, I should have consulted you before reacting, but you know how quickly I can get out of control. I've seen you flirting with other men, and I thought it only confirmed what Chris said. It fed my insecurities. I always felt like I wasn't good enough for you. So it was no surprise to me to hear that you might want other men. You could have chosen a much better man than me. You should have chosen a better man than me. I felt humiliated when you married me. And all through our marriage, I was left with some doubts that you would suddenly find someone better. I will apologize as many times as you want. I'll take whatever punishment you want if you don't divorce me. I don't know what to do. Melissa, you are my life. I will die without you." Melissa was still furious with Herb. Shortly after she received his message, Melissa sent a short reply. "Keep your word, asshole. Die." A man came to Chris's door and asked if he was Chris Proctor. Chris showed his ID to the man who spoke nervously. "I've never done anything like this before. Served a man for interfering in the marriage of both spouses." Chris's wife snatched the petitions out of his hands and asked what was wrong. As soon as he explained, she packed up her things to visit her parents for an indefinite period of time. Herb and Melissa finally started talking on the phone. They missed each other. Melissa had calmed down somewhat, but was businesslike and determined in her pursuit of a divorce. Herb said he would agree to her terms if she would help him with the costs of the bills. The motel bills especially were creating a problem in his cash flow. He asked if he could go back to the spare bedroom, pay rent, and do the chores he usually did. Melissa told him it was a little chilly, but not so chilly that it was snowing like hell. At the last minute, he had managed to rent a garage apartment from a neighbor friend of theirs. With no objections from Herb, the divorce went quickly. The division of property was even, and there was no alimony. Herb did have to pay her an allowance for 5 years. He didn't try to talk to Melissa until he saw if they would get anything from their lawsuits against Chris. In judgment. Now I see that we have 2 plaintiffs suing the same person for interference. Will there be 2 presentations? Or 1? Herb's attorney spoke up. If it pleases the court, both parties have asked me to lead the case against Mr. Proctor. Minus Mr. Proctor's counsel? No objection, Your Honor. Herb's attorney outlined the case regarding Chris's statement in a report that his wife had an open marriage, Herb's subsequent actions, and Melissa's decision to divorce. Both parties requested punitive damages in the amount of $50,000. Chris's attorney stated that it was a bad joke. Chris then testified that he assumed Herb would go to Melissa and find out it was a prank. His attorney stated that Herb's reaction was abnormal and therefore should be considered a mitigating factor, along with Melissa's overreaction in demanding a divorce once she learned the truth. He also mentioned that, if Chris had wanted to, he could have claimed that he didn't tell Herb any such thing and Herb came up with the scheme on his own to have an excuse to have sex with another woman. Instead, he readily admits what he said about an open marriage and accepts the punishment. He apologizes to both parties and begs them to consider reconciliation. The judge is quick to rule. Minus Mr. Proctor, you say you're ready to take responsibility? I'm glad. Too few people do. However, you have harmed both parties, so I award each party $10,000 and reimbursement of attorney's fees for their divorce. This court is adjourned. Herb and Melissa separately continued to go to counseling sessions. Melissa gradually softened as she watched Herb's remorse and heard his sincere apology. The image of him cheating on her with a call girl faded in her mind. Melissa never invited Herb back to the house, and Herb never brought it up again because he didn't want to hear the answer. Then one day, Melissa brought it up. Herb, we are divided, but I think I have my hate level under control. It's time for us to move on. We either have to go our separate ways or we have to reconcile. Are you thinking about reconciliation? The saying, "You're better off dealing with the devil you know than the one you don't," comes to mind. Or, "Better with me than without me." That works too. She cried, came over and hugged him. You asshole! Why didn't you come and ask me what Chris said? Yeah, asshole. I should have done it. I was wrong. I failed an important test of trust in a marriage. I was punished. I'd like to make it up to you. How can you do that? Let another man have sex with me? I wouldn't like it. But if that's what it takes to keep us together, go ahead. Just please don't tell me about it, especially if he's doing a better job than me. Are you saying you'd let me have sex with another man so we could be even? On the condition that that would be it. I wouldn't do anything like that because I really want to make up. If I did, we'd both be worried about the other one fooling around for the rest of our lives. Melissa, what if we just tried living together for a while? We could pool our resources. What if one of us finds someone else they're interested in? How would we handle another date? Mel, I'd rather we be exclusive, but that's up to you. I can agree to an exclusive relationship, but at the same time, Herb, I miss having regular sex with you. You mean I can stay, and we can have sex? That's exactly what I'm suggesting. Instead of an open marriage, we can have a closed, intimate relationship. Can I move back into the master bedroom? Not really. I'm used to the extra closet and drawer space. But we can sleep together. Good. Chuckles. And one more thing. Don't give in to any other provocation unless you want to be punished. Yes, dear. The end. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you.